What's up, YouTube? This is the Live Sports Talk, and like I said, here's the video for the Knicks and Heat game. Um, the Heat controlled this one like no other. They won 100-67, as you can see in the title of my video. The Heat won by 33. They just completely dominated. LeBron had a great game. He was 10 for 14 from the field, 11 for 14 from the line, and had 32 points. When LeBron was on the court, they were plus 35. When Mike Miller was on the court, even though he didn't have a particularly well shooting game, he was 3 for 10 with 9 points. They were plus 34. I mean, the Heat's defense is just too good for the Knicks. The Knicks didn't only scored 20 points or more in a quarter once this game, and that was in the fourth quarter when the Heat didn't have their starters out there, and they only scored 20. The second quarter, the Heat scored 30, and the Knicks scored 13. That's how you lose games right there. You go down 17 points that quarter. Third quarter, the Heat scored 27, the Knicks scored 16. Carmelo Anthony had a terrible game. He was 3 for 15 with 11 points, and he was minus 35, plus minus. He did have 10 rebounds, but it's not going to get you the win unless you put points on the board. D. Wade played well. He was 8 for 13 with 19 points. Chalmers played well. He was 3 for 5 with 11 points, 9 assists. LeBron also had 4 steals, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Heat as a team had 12 steals today. Even though the rebounding was even. The Knicks out-rebounded the Heat by 3 rebounds, but obviously it didn't show. The Heat shot 48%, and the Knicks shot 35%. The Knicks had 24 turnovers this game, and the Heat only had 10. That's the big difference right there. It was the fact that the Heat's defense was too much for the Knicks. They couldn't do anything. Now, J.R. Smith was the Knicks' leading scorer, and he had 17 points. He was 7 for 17, which still is not particularly good. And he played 33 minutes coming off the bench. Now, if you watch this game, you would know Iman Shumpert went down with an injury, and they're going to do x-rays and stuff, but it did not look good. And if you saw my video earlier or watched the Bulls game, you would know that D. Rose is already out with a torn ACL and MCL, and you do not want anything like this to happen to Shumpert. So I'll be tweeting out once I find out what happened. So you can follow me on Twitter at LiveSportsTalk. This series is, the Heat are going to win the series. I predicted that. I'm going to say that they're going to win in, I originally said 6 games, but now it's looking more like 5 after this game. But the Knicks really need to bounce back from this if they want to have any chance in the series. They really need to come back. Well, they don't have to win the next game, but they need to come back and at least be in it. They can't get beat by 10 or more next game, or they're done. Mark it up. They're done. Tyson Chandler had the flu, so he didn't really do much. He was 0 for 3 with 0 points and 21 minutes played. He only had 3 rebounds. He had 7 turnovers. He just played terribly, but I guess it's excusable if he had the flu. But if he wasn't ready to play, he shouldn't be out there. So that's a coaching decision. You need to figure that out. Also, the Knicks didn't have any blocks this game, which I find interesting because, I guess Chandler's their big block guy, but just to not have any, that you're not creating. enough turnovers for the other team. You need to be able to play better defense than that on the Heat if you want to win. I mean, and then because the Heat are going to lock you down. The Heat are going to hold you to low point totals, and you need to if you can't score on them, you're going to have to play defense. And I know Carmelo Anthony started to play defense since they switched coaches, but they did not do a good job here today. So comment your thoughts. I will reply like I usually do. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at Live Sports Talk. So that's it for me. Peace.